Hi, my name is Alessandro Cangelosi and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. This time we have to continue working on the Alien Planet environment series we are working on, and we are in the part 3, and in part 3 I'd like to start working a little bit on the lighting and shading there to start preparing the environment, and also deciding how to work on the shaders and maybe planning some background there as the sky, and maybe we can think about to use, for example, external plugin as Terragen to create the background. So first of all, I received the scene with the right new name in part 3, and we can have a little bit of working on the shading there. And you know that the first thing we done is to put a little bit of water there, and I like to make changes there to have the water coloring there the rock, where we have the rock there. And I'd like also to make some working on the shaders and to plan something. So let's start from this part, and our shader for this part actually is general. So we create a new shader and we call it foreground terrain. Okay, let's assign to the mesh we have there in front. Okay, let's go there and let's assign. Perfect. Now back to shaded, and we can go for an arc and design with no reflection for the moment. So let's see what we can do. If we have, for example, a substance texture we can use without the need to create a new texture. So let's go there to use a substance, load, texture, and let's see if we have something we can use there. So we have some ground texture there. And I think that we can use the ground shader there. So the dry, let's try with the dry ground number 2. Okay, this one. It's not bad. And we'll use it, you see, that's a preview. We'll use it there, and we'll use it as a texture there, but I'd like to see if we can use this one using a new map. Let's say a new V double map planner, and let's say that's the map number 4, and we say to use the channel number 4. Okay, so it's a little bit better than the other. Then I like to have no blurring, and we have to start working on the texture there. So we have it there. Let's see what we have with the edge. You see that we have a little bit of cracking, and that can be useful. Okay, let's see the fragment. I like to have it more, maybe just a little bit less. Okay. Let's see other things like the color, the saturation, but we have to test it. So we have to check rendering, and we have also to find the right illumination And to do this, I like to put a really simple mesh inside the scene. Let's imagine there over the road. Okay, and we have to add also the ambient occlusion, and we can use the special effects ambient occlusion, and for the measure we can use there the scale from this one, and we can say maybe 35 meters. And I like to have a really dark coloring like this one. Okay, let's go to check the various stuffs there. Everything is okay, and let's say that we like to render just this area, and render. It is preparing. You know that actually we have 3 million polygons, so it will take a little bit. You see, I think that our ground color is needs to be darker. Obviously we have to scale the map, the texture, and we have to do some adjustment, but we'll do it later. Okay, talking about the lighting, it's not bad. Maybe we can try to use this one, or maybe we can try to rotate a little bit. So let's zoom there. Okay, and let's pick the daylight, and we can change it going in the step, and you see we can change directly the north. Let's try in this way. We can make a clone so we can see the differences. The first one was not bad, so maybe we can use it, but I like to check if in this way we have a better illumination with more detail. Remember that the scaling is big, so okay, it's not bad. It is really not bad. Okay, let's try to go with this value, maybe just a little bit like that. Okay, so you know we have to show the scaling, and to show the scaling we have to change also the bump scaling there. We have 5 meters for the largest wave, but we can say 0.5 meters, and the smallest one is 5 centimeters, and we can say also that I'm trying to imagine something that can be done, and one thing that can be done is to have a really lower amount of bump. So let's go to recheck the illumination and the water. I think that now the scaling for the water is better. And I like also the illumination there. So I think we can move forward. Let's save the scene, and now I like to work a little bit more on the shader there. You see that it's really clear. I like to go before they're inside the exposure control. And let's try to work with a physically based out daylight, and let's control the film speed ISO. Let's go for a 250, and let's say that we have just both these objects, so it will be faster. Obviously now we have more lighting inside the scene. Okay, so let's go in the material editor, and we have to change the texture there value, and to change it we can try to see to have less luminosity. Let's make it darker. Do something like that, and back render. It is going to be too much dark, so we'll make it a little bit less darker. So let's go for 0.4, and maybe we'll have a little bit of more saturation. But I prefer it when the saturation is lower. So let's go back to 5, and let's try to see what happens when we have a better scale for the texture there. So let's go for absolute, and let's go for a 4 key texture with an higher resolution. And let's go there, and let's say that we have a 6 for 6 tiling. We should have enough detail or the terrain to have the right scaling. We have to change the scaling over one axis, to see the right detail. So let's go back there, and let's say that we have vertically, maybe let's see 12, 3, 2. So we have 2 in this way, and let's say 3 maybe, and let's see in this way 4. Maybe we should have a good compromise to have a good looking with good detail. Obviously you have to imagine that we are not using the a good anti-alias level, so it will be better later. Okay, let's see. I like to have a little bit of difference there where we have something similar to a road, and to make it we can go there, and we can have a composite, keep all map, and a second layer will be another substance, so we have a good texture quality just playing with a substance. And let's see what we can use. Let's try with sand 01, and we have to decide where we have to put the sand, and we can say to use this mask there. So copy, and we say paste as a copy, and we make an invert. Okay, so you see we have the sand there. And actually, if we go to render, obviously we should have something that can seem strange, because we have to work on the layers and on the mask. But you see we are using this shader just there. Okay, so I like to go back again there, and we can say that we like to have a 60% visibility of the sand, so we have a mixture of the terrain and the sand. Maybe we can do a little bit less, because I like to see a little bit more detail. Okay, perfect. And now I like to go there, and we have to choose obviously a good quality there. So let's try with the same, so 3 and 2, and we like to have no blurring, and let's go to choose the scaling, and we go for a 4 key and 4 key, and save. Let's try to make the same rendering with a good quality anti-alias for the moment to see how it is going. It will take a little bit more to render. So you see that the quality is high enough to continue working on it. So I like there how it is working. I'd like now to work on a little bit of detail, maybe on the ground, but I'm talking also about the bumping. So let's go in the material, and I like to add something where we have the road. So copy. It is a little bit slow to be rendered, but you have to imagine that it's normal. Let's go there and bump. We can create a composite directly. So composite, perfect. The first one will be masked, and we have to create something like some lines. So we can try, I don't know if we have some lines there in the substance we can see. So let's go in the substance, load, let's see in the texture, let's see if we can have something that can be used. Maybe not. Let's see in the noise. Let's go with some maps as the gradient ramp, and we'll work on it. Maybe let's use a gradient, discard all map. Let's go for the map number 4. Okay, let's say that our tiling is 10 times on the other axis, sorry. Okay, and 1 on this axis, and we can go to have this one there as a copy and this one there as a copy. Okay, and then we like to go for more lines, something like that, and we'll try to add, let's see if we can add the noise from there. Okay, we can try to see if it works. We try with the bump before, and then we see if we can use the displace. Let's say that the bump is high, so we can see it more clearly. We can change also the anti-alias to be faster, but for the moment we can stay. I think we have to fix the bumping because we have the bumping all over. So let's go there and let's change, and we can say to apply the bumps just to the bumps and not to the other stuffs. We have to remove the invert there. Sorry, no, it's right, because we like to have it just there. And we can say to have another layer, and the first layer is a substance, and we have to check the texture, and we go for the dry ground 1, and you know we have there, we can swap, set to off this one, and this one will be a bump, and we need the same substance, so let's go there in the diffuse, and let's copy this one. Let's go to the bump, and there we can paste the same, but we say that we are using the bump. Okay, and let's see with a little bit less anti-alias what we are doing. Okay, we should have a good bump actually. Okay, then now I like to add the bump there. So let's see if the mask is right. Actually, I'm not seeing the effects, so let's set to off this one to be sure that everything is going the right way. Okay. So now let's go there. Let's go inside this map. Let's say that we have maybe more noise, and I think it can be bigger. And let's render again, because I like before to tune the lines, then we tweak the scaling, the tying. Let's see. it seems that we have a little bit of bump of noise there. Okay, now let's go to have a huge amount of lines. Let's talk about 150, and let's say that this one is maybe 25, so it's really a teeny bumping there. And I like to have these lines just in some area, so we have to work on this map. This one must be masked, so let's go there to have a mask, keep Alt, and let's use a noise. It should be bigger. Let's talk about maybe something like that. And let's see what do we have in this way, if the scaling is right. Okay, you see that some areas are visible and some other are not visible. So let's go with something like that. So we should have just some area in a different way. So you see we have something, for example, there and there, and I like to have the same thing. So let's make a copy, and let's go into displacement as a paste, and then okay, this one can be removed and we have just this one. Let's save, and let's see if we have the right displacement. It takes a little bit of time to prepare the mesh. It is becoming too much slow, so we'll try to do something different, and I mean we'll use this one as a displacement and this one as an area where we have the displacement. So let's see what happened. So let's fix before something, and I like to scale this noise there, because the scaling is really little. So let's go for 2000, and then we can apply a different displacement there. Let's say maybe -2. Okay, let's go for 2, and later we change the various parameter, and we can have something like this is the mask, and there we have just this bump. And we can set, for example, 1 there, a really huge amount there, same scaling there, so to 2000. And something that we have to do is to fix also the displacement parameters. So let's go in rendering, then inside renderer, the last part is this displacement, and we can set max displace to 10 meters and less subdivision because we have a lot of polygons, so let's go for 4. And now we can try to make a test render, but before I like to save again, and let's see what happened. I can stop the recording. That's actually our result, and it is really huge actually. So let's say that we like to have it lower. Let's go for 2, and maybe the scaling can be higher, so let's say 180. Okay, so let's save the scene, and we can play a little bit more on the bumping, because I like also to have another bump pass there. So again, same mask, and I like to use, let's go for a noise. Let's try with 150 with a turbulence, or maybe the fractal. And the opacity will be 25.2. Let's see what happened. Okay. It is not so visible, so I like to make it 100%. So we see just this bump. Okay, now it is visible because we see the problem we have with it. So let's go there, and now we can tune it, let's say using a really huge amount of fractalization, and let's say with a lower scale. Okay, I think we can scale it a lot. Let's go to 150. And then we can tune back the parameters. And this one obviously can be really low, but I like also to remove this mask there. And let's try with something like 10. We should have a little bit of bumping using this map, but nothing so visible. let's go to have an higher visibility as 30. Let's wait. Obviously we'll be able to see differences also during different rendering with different illumination. Okay, back to the displays. I like to see a little bit more displays also there on the model, so we can use this map. So there, that's the map 4. Okay, and using the displacement, let's say that we are using this map there as an instance. Let's say 2 meters. Okay, we start to see something there. Let's see how it looks playing with it. So back to 1. Let's see with 20, maybe 10, 20, 30. Okay, and let's try to have a lower level, maybe 1 meters. And let's see the mask there. I like to have some differences there inside, so to make it we can make a mask, or maybe we can stay with this one. Let's see how it looks with this layer 2. You see that now it is a little bit more visible, and maybe we can have it more little. Let's go for 60 and less displays. Okay, just a little bit. And I like also to remove a little bit of bumping from the second map there. So we can remove these displays, and back there we can say 20. Okay, then in the other area there I like to add a little bit of masking to have some sand all around. So to do something like that, we can have another layer with the same map, and we can say that we have, let's say 100 to be more visible. We have the same map there, the same mask, and we need to have it inverted, but also mask it. From a noise, let's say that the scaling is 2000, and we'll use the turbulence. So we should see around some area. Let's make a test. think that the area are too big. So let's go there and let's change the color just to be sure. That this area are not so big. Okay, now we see it. We can stop the rendering and we can go inside the mask we are using. We can go for a swoop, let's say with a bigger scale, a better scale, and I like to make it not so much visible, and then back to 2000, and let's see what happens. Okay, then back to check the scaling there of the map. Okay, in this way it should be not bad. Let's try with 2000 and maybe a little bit more detail. So you see we have just some area there and there, but maybe I like to have it a little bit bigger. Okay, then back to 2000, and we can say there that we like to have it at 40%, and we can see how it looks. And then we fix the color. Okay, stop the rendering. Then we can fix the color for this one. And let's say that we have the saturation set to 0.5 and the luminosity to 0.4, and let's have a little bit more saturation there. Let's try with 0.55 and render. It seems not bad, truly not bad. Okay, go back there, and I try to make a little bit more visible this one, and maybe we can use it as a multiply over the other map, and let's see what we have. Okay. Okay, we can go for something like that. So we have a good basic there for our terrain, and we can also add some objects over the ground to make it more interesting. So let's save. So now we have a good starting point there for the shader. I like maybe just to change a little bit there on the high sides of our texture, and we can use the map channel number 2. So what I mean is that there we can have another map, and let's say this time we can use, let's see, another substance. Obviously, if you have better texture, you can use it. Let's see what we can have. Let's see, for example, a granite. Let's wait. It crashed. Okay, let's wait for the restarting. Okay, we have the map, and this map must be masked by, let's say, for the moment, a gradient ramp. This gradient map is with a channel number 2. Okay, we have to tune this map. Let's add another UV map to be sure we have the right one. And this one will be the 5. And we'll have 5 also there. And it will be rotated over the other axis. Fit. I think we have still the map 5 just used, so let's go to have the 6 and 6 also there to be sure. Okay, so we have the white, you see there. Let's say that we have this really slow there, so we have to remove, I have to remove this this flag, and now we can move it. So we can also move this one. Let's say that maybe we have it until there. Okay, back. Now we have this map over there. We can say maybe to use it at 50%. And let's move the render region to this side, and then we can render. Let's see what we have. Obviously it must be tweaked and fixed. That is just to have some differences over the high side of the ground. Okay, we see the differences there, but I like to change the map there, and I like to move this flag in this way, and let's go back there, and we should work on this map. So we should work to have it 5 times and 5 times over the other axis. Let's see this map or the mesh. I'm playing a little bit, you see, with the parameters. Okay. We need it for sure more little. So let's try with 10 times and 10 times. And save. And we need to scale also to have more detail. For key, and for key also on the other axis. Okay, done. Perfect. So we have a good basic setup for the shader. Actually, we can see how it looks. And in the next part we can continue working on the shader for the rest of the environment, and we'll try to move forward for the shaders, the materials, and all the other stuffs we need to have a good setup there. Okay, so I think it is perfect. We can remove this one. We can simply hide it, and we can exit from the isolation. Obviously, when we finished to work on this shader, we can use something similar also on the other area there. So next step is to save, and then we are ready for this part. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for a new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.